So guys, let me tell you something, man. Earning 100K is no longer is not a lot of money anymore. 100K, which used to be the gold standard of a salary, is no longer the it anymore. And I know I come on here all the time and talk about these tech salaries that are super, super expensive and so forth, and then they pay you well. Well, I'm telling you this stuff right here because these salaries are over 100K, right? The base salaries are probably around 150, 160K, but 100K, $100,000, it ain't the jam like it used to be anymore. That's not the case, guys. And I'm going to share an article with you guys on why it's not the jam. And I'm going to share you some of my personal experience as well, too, on why it's not the jam, guys. It's not the jam. Check this out. Check this out. Business Insider. You know, earning six figures isn't enough to buy the American dream anymore. The American dream doesn't exist anymore, guys. And if you're earning $100,000 in whatever field that you're in, more than likely you're not in tech, right? But if you're earning $100,000 or less, right, it's not a lot of money. And $100,000 is now middle class, and it's no longer enough to buy the symbols of the American dream. Let's get into the article. A $100,000 salary has long been the gold standard of success in the United States, but in today's economy, with the inflation and all that stuff that's going up, it's not enough to buy the American dream. It's a dream that millions have chased for decades, seeking the post-war ideal that emerged in the 1950s, getting an education, landing a good job, and starting a family with a nice house in the suburbs. But 70 years later, America's middle class is shrinking thanks to increasing cost of living for everything from college tuition to healthcare. Income increases simply have not kept up, guys. And you guys are seeing that as we speak today. Many of you haven't even cracked the $100,000 yet. Many of you have, right? If you're in tech, more than likely you have. And a lot of people who follow this channel, like PBO, who be buying them Birkin bags, he's already cracked that. And this is the article for him, right? But it means the six-figure salary just isn't what it used to be. Buying a house, paying for college, having kids is barely attainable even on $100,000 salary. I'm telling you like this, guys. That's why I'm telling you, you need to get into these positions of power. You need to get into these tech companies and you need to climb the ladder because these are the salaries that are going to allow for you to have somewhat of a better lifestyle, right? If you get to a managerial role in the tech company, you're going to be making close to $200,000 a year. Not only that, you're probably going to get some sort of equity or some sort of, bonuses and things like that. If you are if you're at a larger tech company as an engineer or engineering manager, you're going to be making a whole bunch of money as well too. So if you think about it, $100,000, it's not what it used to be. And matter of fact, it's not enough to even survive off on a family, right? With one kid and a wife in a house. It's no longer the jam anymore, guys. And let me tell you something. With the increase of inflation, the housing costs back in the early 1950s, right? The median household cost was $7,300, right? 1950s. The median house costs $7,300, right? 1960s, it was $11,000. And adjusting for today with the inflation, it's $85,000 and $111,000 and $2,021 respectively. But check this out, guys. I don't just tell you guys to get these tech salaries and get into these tech positions for no reason. I'm actually telling you guys to do this because it's a means to an end eventually for yourself. And let me just give you some examples of something that I'm going to share with you right now. Getting back to the whole point of this, $100,000 is not a lot of money anymore, guys. So I want you guys to see past the six-figure bag and start to think about, okay, well, how can I make $150,000 now? How can I make $200,000 now? Okay, well, what is it going to get? What do I need to do to get to $200,000? You may say I'm at $100,000 now, but what do I need to get to $200,000? Well, look in the company. Look at your company at who's making $200,000. Okay, well, how can you map yourself to a career that they have that's making $200,000? Maybe you need some coaching, some communication coaching. Maybe you need some management and leadership coaching. Maybe you need some sales development training. Start to map yourself towards what that's going to be in order for you to get to a larger salary so that you can take care of yourself and your family over time. Because again, $100,000 is not shit anymore. $150,000 pretty soon in the next 2 years, the way how the inflation is growing right now at a 6%, 9% rate, guys, it's not going to be much at all either. Your milk's going to be costing $10 per gallon pretty soon, right? Your gas is already spiked up already as well, right? And with this, this variant that's going on there now, right now, the government starts to pump more money into the economy. If it shuts things down, I doubt they're going to do it, but it's going to cause inflation to continue to grow. And that's just what it is. So over time, guys, I'm going to tell you like this, $100,000 is not a lot of money. So I just wanted to share that with you first. Just to give you guys and set the context on how much money that you can be making in the tech world before we get to these salaries, before we get to the main article of this. Let me do this. Let me kill that article and get to the chats real fast. Ben, I do appreciate that super chat again, my man. JP, the nobleman, said, glad to hear you're feeling, brother. I appreciate that, brother. Joey Q, one of my mentees. He said, just tune in, feel better, Mr. Wade. Did you catch the COVID? Yeah, man, I catch the COVID, Cena. Whatever you want to call it. If so, I know the feeling, had it in 2020, man. I'm going to tell you like this, man. It's it knocked me on my butt, man. It knocked me on my butt. Tra Souza says this is depressing. Yes, unfortunately, it is depressing. Before the Billions is in the house as well, too. Salute to the chat. I appreciate you for joining Before the Billions. We got the engineering cannabis in the house as well, too. In this economy, you need 200K to be comfortable. That's right. In this economy, you absolutely right. You need about 200K. Now, I got to say this. If for a single man, 100K may be just fine for you. But if you're talking about having a family and kids and a wife and a house and sending your kids to college, no, it's not going to be a lot of money for you guys. And I don't know what happened back here, but something happened where I got myself playing on the YouTube back here, man. I don't know what happened back there, but I just turned the TV off. Kristen says, what's good before the beans? Burr, yes, I absolutely. That's exactly what I did, PBL. That's exactly what I did on this one, as I do all my properties as well, too. Clifford says 55K in a year. Yes, 55K in a year. I'm going to tell you like this, man. You're going to want to get that salary up to 100K. You're going to want to get it up to 100K at least plus and try to continue to do so. Jay Burrows said the real estate market is artificially high right now. That's true, too. That's another thing, but you got to take advantage of it right now. If you bought earlier, Jay Burrows, a lot of people are doing cash out refinancing. A lot of people are doing financing because they can lower their interest rates as well, too. And they can leverage the money that they have in equity to continue to buy more properties. And the more assets you have, the more potential chance you're going to have an opportunity to cash flow with them as well, too. But you're right. The real estate market is, I don't know if it's artificially high. I would say this, it's not going back down. If you saw it from the 1950s and 1960s, it almost jumped by half. So that was during the 1950s and 1960s. We're in 2021. I don't see it going back down unless there's a major crash. Benny says 100K is good enough for a single person. You're going to need 200K plus for a family of four. I agree with you, Ben. I agree with you 100% there. If you're a single guy out of college and you're not in a super major city, right? Let's just say you're in Atlanta and you're making 100K, you're fine, man. You're absolutely fine. But don't think you're going to really be balling out with 100K with a family and kids. It's not going to happen, right? Your wife is going to have to work, one, right? She's going to have to bring in some extra income because daycare cost is expensive. School is expensive. My daughter's school is close to $12,000 a year. My son, he is not in school yet because my wife, she homeschools him at this point in time, right? There's a lot of money that comes with having kids, family, wife, trips that you want to do and all this other stuff, which is another reason why I say get into real estate, but also side hustles as well, too. Guys. Tra Souza, inflation isn't going to stop. There will come to a point where 500K ain't shit in America. Will be a shell of what it once was. Watch and see. That's hey, with the way how things are going right now, Tra, right? With the way how things are going right now, there will be a time where 500K is not much anymore. I mean, that's going to be a Bitcoin at some point in time, right? A Bitcoin is going to be worth 500K itself. 100K will not go far in Cali, South Florida, New York, or Austin. Yeah, I'm in Austin. I'm in the Austin market. 100K ain't the same as what it was in the 70s. Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? People think that it is or it was what it was. But no, it's not. It's no longer that anymore. Chris McDonald said there's a former stripper who is now a cybersecurity analyst. We're going to get to that story. Matter of fact, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you brought it up. Christian says, at the end of the day, your legacy is only going to care about what you own and control that you can pass down, not your job title or how much you earn. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're right about that, Christian. But one of the things that you making a lot of money does, though, is allow for you to, build your legacy, right? And what you can pass down. And the money that you make can really go towards, those assets that you may potentially want to pass down one day. And not only that, keep that money in the family and so forth. Deuce X says, what I don't get is how so many people are resigning when this rapid inflation. You think people would want to work? I don't get that either. I say this, though, Deuce. I say it's a certain kind of person that's resigning into this sort of environment. A certain kind of person is resigning in these certain kind of environments, right? People who either, one, they have a lot of cash and they don't have, a lot of issues. But I can tell you one thing. It isn't people that I know that's resigning in this certain environment. I don't know a lot of people that's resigning in this kind of environment right now. Although you see the news articles out here, and it seems like they're trying to push more people to do it because everybody else seems to be doing it. Guys, don't follow that crap. You're going to be out of a job, and you probably won't be getting a job for another 6 months. It's hard to find a job, even in this, hyper competitive environment right now. I mean, you got people in my Patreon who's still looking for 100K jobs, right? They still got people who are trying to get their first job out of college still, right? So even though the job market is hot right now, it's still difficult for people to get a job, and it takes time. It takes 36 months at a minimum to find a good job. So guys, don't believe into that crap at all. Don't believe into it at all. Okay. All right. We're going to get in here, guys. We're going to get in here. Benny said, my first job offer in Boston was 105K. Thought it was a lot until I saw how much rent was up there. That's why he moved to Austin too. I got you, Ben. So last year, I don't want to share all of my personal information. Last year, I closed out on, if you guys can see this, let me know. So yeah, I think you guys can see it. Last year, I closed out on a duplex in December of, I think it was December 20th last year, a full year ago. Okay. That property that I bought was $150,000. Beautiful property, right? Two-story building, top and bottom, absolutely gorgeous, right? And I paid $150,000 for it. So I took a loan amount of $113,000, got a 3% loan and so forth on it. I bought that place for $150,000. I got it appraised on yesterday, right? I got it appraised, their appraisal back. I got it because I'm trying to buy more with equity that I already have, right? You want to use debt to leverage, and you want to do it, and you want to do it at a sophisticated rate, and you want to do it at a way that you can leverage your money that you put into your property. So if you guys can see my screen right now, I got an appraisal back for that same property which was done on the 16th of December, 2021. So 6 days ago. I got it back on yesterday. Okay. This property just appraised for $205,000. This property just appraised for $205,000 in a matter of a year. So $50,000 increase, right, on a duplex in just a matter of a year. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you think $100,000 is a lot of money and you're starting to see the cost of everything going up like this, you are killing yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot. If you think $100,000 is going to be enough to sustain yourself for the rest of your life and you and your family. I'm going to tell you like this, me just buying this duplex for $150,000 and seeing the value go up over $50,000 in just a year is crazy. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to cash out refinance, take the money that I put into it because I put about $17,000 into it, right, to make it look nice and neat and stuff like that, get some new tenants in it and so forth. Take my $17,000 back, put it in my pocket, and go buy another property. That's what I'm going to be doing with this. But my whole point I'm telling you guys is this. And when you get to these salaries, you want to make sure that you aren't just looking at that salary and think that salary is going to be enough for you, because it's not. You're going to want to move up. You're going to want to climb the ladder. You're going to want to make $150,000. You're going to want to make $200,000 a year, because ultimately, even $200,000 a year ain't going to be shit soon. It's not going to be nothing soon. And you're going to want to put the money and make your money work for you. right? So I have properties, over 11 properties right now worth $1.4 million. And I'm going to have more because I'm able to leverage, right? I'm able to leverage the economy and also leverage my prior investments, use that to continue to build wealth for me and my family. That's also going to provide some support and some relief if I wanted to take a step back and working hard as well too. So guys, I always wanted to share that with you because many of you guys think the $100,000 is worth a shitload of money. It's not. It's not a lot of money at all anymore. It's not a lot of money at all anymore. And I want you guys to think and see past that $100,000 that you may not be at this point in time. Yes, get into tech. Try to get to that six-figure bag, that $100,000. And for you, many of you are going to be like, oh my God, that's hallelujah, right? Oh my God, I got to the six-figure bag. But once you are there for a year, you're going to be like, nah, because one, you're going to start to receive some lifestyle creep. I don't care what it is. It might be that new Infinity car. It may, whatever it is. I'm going to tell you like this, you don't want to go and buy it. Don't do it. Don't buy it. But with inflation going up the way it is, everything costing a lot more, $100,000, it's not going to buy you the same as what it did before in the past. So that's my whole point. Guys, when you buy, I put it like this, when you're making that money, you're going to want to put it in things like real estate and other assets, cryptocurrencies, right? Make sure you are sinking a lot of money into your retirement, your 401ks and stuff like that, right? But also at the same time, just make sure you're putting into assets that's going to return something for you. And I always go towards cash flowing assets myself. In the city of St. Louis, that's where I get my money from. That's where I do my business at. But